Lloyd, Franchuk here, Marriott Center on Saturday afternoon. BYU 86-48 win against outmatched Pepperdine. And Jared, let's start with the main story here, if there really is one from this kind of blowout. The three-point shooting. BYU 12 of 32. They go 6 of 16 in each half, but that's an awfully big improvement from the last 6 games. What do you see from the Cougars from beyond the arc?
Well, I thought what really helped was they were able to play an overmatched team at home. This felt a little more like a practice, particularly after they got going. But I thought the biggest thing, Jason, was the fact that they hit their first couple of shots. And that is huge. When you've been in a slump and you're not shooting the ball particularly well, just seeing the ball go in early in a game can change the entire way a game's played. I thought Dave Rose made some good points as well. They were playing at their pace, and when they're able to do that, they're able to shoot in rhythm as opposed to forcing up things or really taking shots that they're not as good and not as successful with as they have been in some of those other games. And so the fact that they were able to be in rhythm, they were able to get some confidence from making some of those shots early, I thought that made a big difference, and they were able to knock down a bunch of them. Now, they still took 32, which is probably more than Dave Rose really wanted, but knocking down 12, that's really important for this team.
Yeah, BYU had been 17 for 101, Jared, over the last 6 games. You talk about three-pointers. Anson Winder started his 3rd consecutive game. He hit 2 early. Charles Abouo really got going. 23 points to lead BYU, 7-11 from the field, 5 of 8 from three-point range. Jared, I thought the funny shot with him, he laughed about it, was he puts him up 44-21 with a little whirly-bird, Sean White type X Games move in the paint, in which he throws it off the backboard and in. And BYU really needed this game, didn't they, as far as getting some confidence going into the closing part of the season, and they looked body language like a different team today.
Well, and I thought specifically, Jason, they needed to get a game like this from Charles. I thought Abouo hadn't really played up to the type of player he'd been earlier in the season, and I thought that really contributed to some of the difficulties BYU has faced over the last few games. Dave Rose said in the post-game interview that part of that was because it was choppy time. He was getting in foul trouble, had to be on the bench, on the floor, on the bench, and that made it harder for him to get in rhythm. But he's one of the 2 seniors. Noah has been steady throughout the year. He's not been perfect, but he's been steady. Charles has been a little bit more up and down. Tonight he was up, and that's what BYU needs from him the rest of the year if they're going to be able to have success as they close out the season and head toward the postseason in March.
This is Charles in charge with 23. Brandon Davies had 13. Anson Winder and Matt Carlino each with 10 for BYU. Probably a big part, though, was defensively. Dave Rose real happy with the way the guys executed the game plan. Remember, they got down 11-2 January 21st at Pepperdine. So BYU a lot more sturdy inside, as Pepperdine only shoots 33% from the game. They're down 46-25 at halftime, and the Waves lost the second half as well, 40-23. So again, BYU off to the Bay Area, San Francisco and Santa Clara next Thursday, Saturday. Then the biggie, Jared, they'll go to Gonzaga, the Kennel up in Spokane, Washington, the following Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Daily Herald, Cougarblue.com, HeraldExtra.com. Richard Teasdale thought I was going to make another error, but I wasn't. Rich, give him the highlights.